Hi everyone, welcome to Sacred Soulful Sundays. My name is B. Pila, and let's get into this week's session. What has been coming in for me this entire week, and it actually came hard and strong, and I didn't even realize that it was supported by what is happening energetically on every level on our planet. You know, we've come so far in our growth and our learning of understanding what is happening to us, for us, on the universal collective plane. Okay. And the word that came in for me, and that's what I put on the chat, was reckoning. And like, that sounds really foreboding, doesn't it? Reckoning. It's like, oh shit. Brene Brown talks a lot about the reckoning in her book. And it's one of her pillars of what it is to be vulnerable and to deal with our shadows. Okay. So what does that mean exactly? Reckoning. A reckoning is, I looked it up because when the word came in so strongly, it hit me like in the chest, because I was like, shit, is that like the apocalyptic feeling that it gives me? But it actually is a very positive thing. And I'll give you the shift and the twist of what this means. So the reckoning is an avenging or a punishing of past mistakes or misdeeds. That's what a reckoning is. Let me repeat that. It's avenging or punishing of past mistakes or misdeeds. Now, it does sound kind of crappy, but the truth is that the way the law of the universe works, the way we understand karmic law or the law of cause and effect, or understanding that we reap what we sow, okay? Collectively, as humanity, we have been unawake and unaware of our misdeeds and misconduct. Does that make sense to you guys? In other words, we don't want to see the crap that we've created. It's ugly, right? It's something that we're not proud of. But as we awaken and become responsible, sovereign beings, which is what we are on this chat, we've all committed to be in the light. And what does it mean to be in the light? When we shed light on something, we release the darkness, right? We see for the first time clearly what we have created. And we have collectively created a lot of crap. We really have. And we continue to do so. Don't get me wrong. But the good news is that as we grow and expand and awaken into the next density, which we've spoken about, that we are in third density, we are in 3D, hence what we discussed about the body. We are definitely in physical form on this physical planet for a reason, okay? But as we collectively expand to over 51%, as we understand the law of one and what is called the harvest, right? We are being harvested into a new era, okay? A completely different paradigm. It's one that we cannot physically partake of at this moment, and yet we are. We have made the transition. That is the beautiful good news, that all of you awakened souls, all of you awakened beings are aware of the crap that we've created and are committed to clean it up. But how do we clean it up? Like we've said, the only way we clean it up is by becoming awake to it, by shedding the light on it. And we know that as beings, we are light. Okay? But each of us Imagine a flashlight, right? That we've put in a new battery and it's nice and fresh and it's shining really brightly. But as time goes by, maybe the battery runs a little low. Or the opposite. Maybe your battery is running a little low and you cannot shine as much light. Okay? So as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. Right? This is a law. So what is happening collectively is also happening within us. This is a fact. We are a microcosm of the bigger picture. We are a microcosm of the bigger picture. And interestingly enough, yesterday, January 20th, TikTok was freaking out. YouTube was going crazy over this transition of Pluto into Aquarius for the next 20 years, right? And Tatiana was so helpful in helping us see what that means, because honestly, all that astrological language seems very complex and scientific, which it is. But the truth is that it all boils down to energy, okay? And the energy, and we understand this, right? Because we understand what the moon does to us as women. Hello, it manifests change in us. Our menstrual cycle is a reflection of the moon's cycles. So whether we are aware of it or not, we're part of it, okay? So if the moon is affecting us in our physicality the way that it does in our menstrual cycles, or even has the power to move the waves in the ocean, high tides, low tides, imagine what it's doing collectively, planetarily, on the entire globe, okay? And this movement is causing an energetic shift that is transitioning us into the new era of the new earth. Okay? This is the truth. Now, I can say all this in this forum because you guys get it. You've been with me long enough to know the underlying patterns and themes that we are dealing with. But what's really important here, guys, is that we understand and become aware of this energetic shift within us as well, okay? Because what is happening in the whole is also happening within us. And this is why we're all being called to action. We are all being called to action. I feel it in this group, just in this small group that we have here gathered. I can feel the energetic desires of all of you to do something great. It is not a coincidence that Yvette is being called upon to help elevate, okay? It's not a coincidence that I am wanting to go live, okay? It's not a coincidence that Maritza is creating another forum for us to elevate consciousness, because we are all being charged, okay, to bring balance to the scales. It's like justice manifesting. We're all being called to clean up this act because we are moving forward into this new paradigm, whether we like it or not. Okay? So we might as well get with the program as quickly as possible. The faster we do that, the better we will feel, because we will feel coherent. Okay, we will feel coherent with the vibration of the cycle that we're going into. Okay, and coherence is key to our well-being. When we are not coherent, we cause dis-ease. Okay, and dis-ease in this paradigm, which we are in the 3D, in the 3D world, a lack of coherence causes dis-ease, which manifests in physical form in our body. And we all want to be healthy and well, because without that, we have nothing, right? And as Tatiana experienced, she had an injury that reflected what was going on within her. I have had that experience many times. Okay, many times myself. That something physical occurs to my body that is telling me to pay attention and providing a beautiful red flag to say, you're not in coherence, girl. Fix this, or I'm going to fix you, so you have to stop and figure it out, which is kind of what COVID did for us. So COVID and this whole transition has produced what we are experiencing right now. Can you believe it's been 4 years? 4 years since we first started on this journey collectively, globally, as a planet. We got a big wake-up call, all of us. And some of us heard the call. And some of us did not. And now it's time for those of us that heard the call to help others hear the call as well. A call to action. That's what the reckoning word that came in for me is all about. But how do we do this? We have to start from within. We have to start with ourselves first. And this is why for all of these years that we've been on this call, without streaming live, okay, we have been working on ourselves. We have been doing the work. We've been looking at our own shadows and our own dark spaces and shedding light on what needs to be cleared. Because you really cannot be empowered to do it for others until you do it for yourself. It's that perfect metaphor of being on the plane and putting the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on your child. Because if you're not breathing, how the hell are you going to help anybody else breathe? All right? That's basically what's going on here. And that to me is the reckoning that is happening. And we are like waking up to the giant empowered self that we are within. We're waking up the giant. Can we be the giants that we need to be? Are we ready to be the giants that we need to be? And to do that, we have to have courage. We really have to have a lot of freaking courage. It's just like, imagine the day that those poor souls that have been called to go to war are waking up on the day that they're going to war. Can you put yourself in that position? Like, just for a moment, imagine what that must feel like. None of us have had that experience in this lifetime. We're very blessed. None of us have had to get up one morning and be called upon to go and face something as magnanimously life-changing as a war. Okay? None of us. So just that alone must make you feel tremendously grateful. Right? And I can tell you that those of us who have children, okay, have never had to send our children off to war. Wow. Can you imagine? That alone also brings a moment of like, thank God. How blessed are we? But there are people every day in this life that are dealing with that. Okay? And what does it take to deal with that? It takes courage. And courage, the word courage, comes from the word hor, which means heart. How ironic, isn't it? It's so ironic that it takes heart to deal with the inhumanity of something as radically destructive as war. Now we know that in this duality that we live, this dual world that we live, there must be a dark and a light. It is the way we grow. There is a saying that I read in a book this week that said, calm seas does not a good sailor make. Okay? If you're tested to navigate the ocean on a clear, beautiful, calm day, you probably would be pretty good at it, right? But what happens when that ocean becomes rocky and wavy and stormy and tormenting? That's when you're really tested. That's when the shit really hits the fan. And that's what we are going through right now. The energetic reckoning is with us. And my question is, are we ready? Have we done enough of our work? Because the work is never over, guys, okay? While we're here, the work continues. I don't care how much you clear up within yourself, there's always going to be something else to clear. That's just the way it is, okay? But if you can get to a critical mass of, like the law of one says, at least 51% clearance, you're good. You're good. You could do this. You can shine your light. Your battery in your flashlight is strong enough to shed light. And together, if we all have a really nice 51% flashlight or more, we can illuminate and beacon our way through this and kind of share a little bit of that light with others so that they can see too. It's kind of like we're walking down a really, really dark path in the woods. And if someone has one light that's halfway open, we're going to make it, right? We'll all gather together, really hunker down together and hold our hands and make it through. Okay? So my question to you is, do you feel that you've done enough work? Are you clear enough to be that beacon of light? Are you ready to accept the giant within you? Are you ready to take that lead? No matter what. Okay? And that's what we're doing here. So, although it sounds like really bad news, and a lot of bad news is hitting us every day because that's just the way that it is, until we clear the crap, okay, and things are fully disclosed. We hear a lot about that. We hear about, how many crazy things are happening out there. We hear about the UFOs showing up, or they're talking about, oh yeah, there are UFOs. Wow, okay, it's real. And the, all of the happenings of disclosure, all the awareness of human trafficking and sex trafficking, and all of that is coming out to the surface to be understood and to be cleared. And each of us has a mission, because we decided to come at this time to witness this. Some of us may just come to witness. And you know what? If that's what you came here for, that is perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with that mission alone, as long as you do no harm. As long as you come at this with love. As long as you don't allow yourself to be caught in the wave of negativity and spiral down the rabbit hole of fear. Which can happen, by the way, because we forget who we really are. We forget who we really are all the time. We get caught in an anger outburst in social media or road rage. Okay, this is part of being human. And what I'm being told to tell all of you is that all of it is God. Okay? What I want you to be aware of is that there is no such thing that God is not within. Okay? So even if it feels bad, even if it seems horrible, even if it is hurtful, there is God within it. Because God is everything. Right? And by God, I mean the universe, the energetic forces, all of that. We understand the duality of it all. Okay? So it is extremely important that we embrace and accept all of it with joy. We embrace and accept all of it with joy. Because if we resist it, if we, fight fire with fire, which is war with war, right? We cannot transmute the energy behind it. We know this, right? And this is just a reminder. This is just a reminder that we have to have the courage and the strength to first accept what we see and then embrace it from a perspective of how can I assist in transmuting this and alchemizing it into something else. Okay? Firstly and foremost for yourself, right? Firstly and foremost for yourself, because if you can't do that just in your microcosm of a life, then you're not going to be able to do it for a bigger picture. Okay? And how do you want to show up in this world? I believe that all of us in 2024 have been called to action. All of us in our own unique, special way. Whatever that is for you is more than enough. If that means being the best mother, wife, or parent that you can be, then that's enough. That's enough. Okay? Now, Tatiana, I'd love for you to give us a little bit of what you said. For those who may not have seen the video that she posted, I really loved what you explained on a planetary level, if you don't mind.
Yes. So, Pluto in Capricorn, which I explained has been around since 2008. This is pretty much like that, looking into your shadows, looking into that deep darkness. That's why all these things have been coming out, like you said, the trafficking, just all the horrible things of humanity. They're being brought up in order for us to see it and change it, transmute it. We did have Pluto briefly move to Aquarius last year, and that, like I said, that's when we had that disclosure about the alien. And now it did move back. It retrograded. Pluto retrograded back into Capricorn, and now it moved back into Aquarius. We are not quite done with Pluto and Capricorn, though. It is going to retrograde one more time later this year. We're going to go back into Capricorn, and then I believe November 19th is when it'll really station forever for the next 20 years into Aquarius. So if you haven't done your shadow work, if you haven't looked at your stuff, it will be coming up later on. But yeah, it's basically just Aquarius has everything to do with energy, with the chakras, with higher knowledge, advances in technology and medicine. It's a holistic view of the person, not just the physical, but the energy behind it. So yeah, this is why all this is coming up. This is why all these advancements are going to start coming out. And yeah, it's all about us taking care of ourselves within in order for everything to change without.
Don't you guys feel that? I mean, all of us that are on this chat, I know, are very aware that this is the energy that is moving us, right? I believe we feel it, whether we know how to vocalize it or we know how to express it. I mean, I have to say, intuitively, I felt it, and I'm not in the level of Tatiana with astrology looking at what the planets are doing. I have to tell you, but I knew that something is up. Something is up. And we're feeling it. And the Plutonian, right, is the destructor. Am I right? The Pluto's energy is like, I'm going to rip this crap apart so that you can see the guts. And when we have those guts exposed, we're going to have to figure out how to clean our act up, right? And that's what it does. So that in combination, if I'm correct, the Plutonian energy entering into this Aquarian age, which we've been hearing about since the 60s, okay? This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Come on. We know this song, right? But it wasn't then. This is the irony. It wasn't then. It took all this time. And this is why I'm saying how special we are right now. This is beautiful. How special are we to witness this dawning of the age of Aquarius, which is really the dawning, because imagine, Pluto will be in Aquarius for 20 years. But you know what? Can you imagine 20 years from now if we are all blessed to be healthy and well and incredibly in our sovereignty? In 20 years, the planet that we will leave our children, if we're able to do this, you, Maritza, that have these 2 little babies that are fresh and new, don't you want a new world for them? I mean, of course we do. We want to usher this in. We need to usher this in. Okay? And we still walk around witnessing, okay, let me put it this way, hopefully without severe judgment, because we don't want to fall into that trap, people that are like zombies, still doing the same things that they do every day, just and not doing something about it, right? Because they haven't woken up to the reality of it yet. Okay? But you know what? This awakening shit is really hard. It's like when we leave our childhood behind, right? And we start adulting. This is what I see. I see that all of a sudden, some of humanity has been called to become an adult. And some of humanity are still children. They're still playing with their toys. They're still giving more importance to their material things than their internal work. They're still working from the outside in. But those of us who are working from the inside out have a huge responsibility. We are the parents. We are the parents. And parenting sucks too, right? I mean, I'm telling you, parenting has many joys, but it also sucks. Because it makes you responsible. And I know that there's a lot of us that avoid responsibility. I think there's a whole generation that is avoiding adulting. I think that has shifted from the 20s to the 30s. I see it, So imagine if that's happening in the younger generation, imagine us that are in the, we don't want to face it. Who the hell wants to do that? We don't want to, get up early and, do everything that we're supposed to do and drink our green juice and, do our, it's like, let's just like hang out and do nothing and escape. But unfortunately, that's not an option for us. It's not an option. So, at least for me, I'm done with it. And you know what? What
You mean it doesn't come easy for you?
Huh?
You mean it doesn't come easy for you?
No, honey. I've just gotten better at it. I've gotten better at it. I'm just like now, in the groove of the habit of it. I'm in the groove of it. But that doesn't mean it's easier, honestly. Understanding that everything that I create in my reality is of my own making is one freaking huge responsibility. And I know that there's no going back for me, at least. There's no going back to having a delicious amnesia. I'm fully awake, and it's not going to change, and I'm committed to helping others wake up as well. That's basically what my commitment is. And I think all of us are in the same boat. I think we're all navigating those tormenting seas and becoming better sailors. I really do. I think we're all committed. Otherwise, why would we be on this chat, right? And the good news is that we're here to support each other in the sail, right? We all got on the boat. We all knew there were going to be rough seas. It's actually the perfect storm, right? It's like that movie. Those waves are really scary sometimes, but it is a perfect storm. It is the perfect storm that allows us to become the best sailors that we can be on this journey together. And like good sailors, one of us is going to hold the mast. The other one is going to use the rudder. I don't know. I'm using these terms because I'm not a marine person, but it makes sense, right? And some of us are going to have the compass, and some of us are going to just like hold on to balance the boat. Okay? That's what we're doing. So I ask you all at this time to wake up the giant within you. Wake up the giant within you and find the courage to do what you love and love what you do, and give up on anything that doesn't align with you or with the energy of the times. And the energy of the times, the good news is, has never been more supportive of those of us that have chosen the mission to be in service of love. If you've chosen the mission to be in the service of others, which is what it means to be in alignment with Christ consciousness, which is what it means to be in alignment with the duality and the polarity side of love. Okay? There has never been a better time to be in coherence with the energetic value of the planet. I feel that. I know that. And I know that as scary as doing what I'm doing today is, because it's scary to me to be out there speaking my truth for those who are not speaking theirs. Okay? As scary as that is, it must be done. It must be birthed. So I hope that you find your calling, your mission, and that you find that courage to take action towards it. Okay? And you understand that you can have the ability to manifest your reality. And there's even further good news to that. The further good news is that because we are being supported by the higher beings that support us, whether they be from another planet, from another realm, whether you're religious and you choose to say they are angels or ascended masters, whatever support system you believe in and enjoy, they're watching us, they're helping us, and they're elevating us with their energy to make sure that we transition and make this journey in a beautiful way. And your reality will show up as you get on board. This is the truth of what I'm saying here. That no matter how bad the news is around us, no matter how scary those dark black beings of negativity that showed up in Bayside, I have no idea whether it's true or not, but I can tell you that that can't touch you. It cannot touch you as long as you are anchored Ha, I love this. The sailing and marine metaphor is perfect for today. As long as you are anchored strongly in your faith and belief and love, nothing of darkness can touch you. Nothing. The world could feel like it's falling apart around you, and you will not be harmed. I promise you that. I feel that I can make that promise. Okay? Stay anchored in the light, my beautiful souls. Stay anchored in the light and feel strong in your faith and in your belief that you are loved. Okay? I know this. I know this in my heart, and I hope that you feel it in your heart too. I hope that right now you are feeling that love from above, because I'm feeling it. I have goosebumps all over my body. This is the message. So no matter how dreary and foreboding the thought of the reckoning sounds, do not let yourself falter. Stay strong in your beliefs and in your love. Hope you enjoyed what we talked about today. And if you did, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. We love to hear what you have to say.